Consider supporting Sonicguru Productions on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description. Okay, couple things.
This happened while we were off.
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was actually really fucking good. Gave us hope for a Sparrow one. Eventually, the Sparrow one actually was announced and was released, despite the fact that the Sparrow 2 and Sparrow 3 had to be downloaded.
Yeah, that was an ass.
Fuck you, Toys for Bob. Great game, but fuck you.
Yeah, but
fuck Activision, really. You delayed the game to do. You delayed the game to do fuck all.
Yeah, but that's the only thing.
But hey, we're more Crash fans and Sparrow fans, even though Sparrow the Dragon 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. But
I mean, we kind of knew. Let's be fair. We kind of knew after Insane and even Reignited. We kind of knew that they're gonna do Team Racing redone.
I didn't expect it. There's no way they would actually go on to remake a cult classic racing game, because it's just like, it wasn't in the cards in my mind. It's like, you remade Crash Trilogy, you remade the Sparrow Trilogy. What's next? Because right now, it's like, just release the fucking Final Fantasy VII remake, and eventually, how about, I don't know, find the license or whatever to port Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes and up that to a PS4. Like, there's plenty of PlayStation classics you could have done. And speaking of which, a PlayStation classic, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, that's a
looks good. Games, shit.
Yeah, like I said, a lot has happened, and clearly we're probably going to get half the right.
We'll just rapid fire these things out right now.
Yeah, but to be fair, I always felt like, to be honest, it's like everybody's been wondering what you're going to do at Crash after Insane, and to be fair, I always felt like really doing Team Racing redone was for the next, because again, it's the safer option, and also it is something a lot of people wanted. It was something people were asking.
They could have made a brand new game. It's like, okay, Crash still has an audience, Sparrow still has an audience. Let's make a new game, but it's another remake.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I didn't expect a remake, but I expected, like, could you actually make a new game now, since you have models, you have the experience? You made a brand new level, completely brand new level of Crash Bandicoot 3. Which is the longest level, and it's the hardest fucking level in the entire game.
After playing that, I did think to myself, oh Jesus, imagine if they did this for an entirely new game. Like, a lot of those levels left it like that. I thought, ooh.
They could remake Crash Wrath of Cortex and make it good.
That's a lot. To be fair,
that's a lot.
I know. To be fair, you might just make a brand new game anyways. Instead of just remaking just.
Yeah, I expected a new Crash and Spyro game, or even an actual decent crossover. Because
that's
they kept
yeah, I think it's still on the cards.
So to actually see, it's like, hey, we're remaking Crash Team Racing, calling it CTR Nitro Fueled.
Yeah, which I will admit, the first thing I went through my mind is, if they're going to remake CTR, what are the pun name they're going to give this? Because obviously, even acronym, I'm thinking, well, what can they do? Can they call it CTR TF, or can they call it Turbo Fuel, or whatever? And they ended Turbo Fuel Charged Ups, whatever, and they ended up with Nitro Fueled, which does work. I think it works as a sub name.
I think it would be easier for more impact be CTR Nitro with 3 exclamation points.
Yeah, but again, CTR and F is easy enough to say that off.
Compare with CNR and CTTR.
Yeah, Nitro Kart and Tag Team Racing. Yeah,
I think Tag Team Racing is still pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I still think Tag Team Racing was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the platforming wasn't that good, but hey, the racing was superb.
Bit of a laugh, yeah. Which again is the funny thing about this game. So the basis of Nitro Fueled is this. Obviously it's a remake of the game. It's a full remake of the game using, obviously redoing the tracks, with some new elements. Surprisingly enough, it's not developed by Vicarious Visions. It's actually developed by a entirely new team called
Beanox.
Beanox, which when I first heard about it, I went online to find out. And they were mainly, weirdly enough, they did a lot of licensed games. They surprisingly did a lot of those Spider-Man games, like Shadow Dimensions, the 2 amazing ones. And
yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered.
A lot of the multiplayer packs, I think, as well. That was one of the things they did.
Yeah, and they did the latter half of Skylanders games, Trap Team and Superchargers.
Yeah, which was a racing game itself, so.
Yeah.
So it's weird to see that, because, again, we all assumed that Vicarious Vision would be the guys to do the racing game, and, of course, everybody was asking them constantly up to Insane's release. Was that something they're doing? So the question now is, are they working on an actual new Crash game, or are they just waiting around for something else to happen?
Yeah. So with Nitro Fueled, I'm looking forward to it, and just seeing the comparison images is like, yep, that's CTR. Like on the wiki, they show a picture of Dingo Canyon. Like the CTR original still looks timeless to me. Yeah, it's blocky, but it's timeless.
Yeah, I think the main thing we can say about
for a reason.
Yeah, the main thing we can say about Nitro Fuel is basically the levels that look by today's standards kind of bare and basic. Boy, they've just filled them out. They just basically filled out those areas. I mean, Dingo Canyon, I mean, it's just, let's just put stuff in the backdrop. There's more things, signs, eagles.
It look like a place that actually exists in the world.
There's an entire train track there for seemingly no reason other just for environmental flavor. But hey.
Yeah. And the actual, I can hear myself.
Yeah.
And the actual HUD's spread out so it can actually see what you're doing.
Yeah. Which again...
and this gets released on June 21st.
So it's a month after TSR, so this is going to be the kart racer of the two.
Because right now, the best kart racer right now is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I agree, that is still playable. Even the original Mario Kart 8 on the Wii is still playable, but Deluxe just, I don't know, it's just like, hey, you like this? Right, let's give it a hat. Much better.
Yeah, it's basically the Valve excuse.
Here's more characters. Here's an actual freaking battle mode. Hey, do a battle mode on the actual tracks and making new ones. Why?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is obviously people have been wondering, if there was ever a big rival to the Mario Kart series, it's been CTR. So
yeah, there's actual meme made like a few days after the announcement trailer. And it's on the ending of Ragnarok. It's like, Mario Kart 8, you think you can defeat me? Team Sonic Racing. No, but he can.
He can.
Oh, from the mountains comes Nitro Kart.
In the Nitro field, yeah. Of course they would.
I'm going to keep calling it Nitro Kart for some reason, even though it's a completely different game.
Yeah. Though that's the weird thing really to say, because Nitro Kart in many ways was CTR 2. That was basically designed as Crash Team Racing 2. I mean, for the most part, it was done by the Vicarious Visions. It had the same basic layout, it had everything from CTR, but with some minor twists. And to be honest, when I remember playing that game and even seeing old footage of it, like weirdly enough, my memory of a game is, even if I see gameplay footage of it, I can recall when I played it. There was something about Nitro Kart that just didn't feel right. There was something about it that didn't feel quite right. Like, everything was there. It was like a more or less a perfect copy you can get. It really was same game, but with some new bells and whistles. But the way it played just didn't feel right. The drifting didn't feel right. The sense of speed wasn't
speed wasn't there for me when I played it. It's like,
yeah, I think that was the thing that
it goes, but I'm not getting a feel for it.
Yeah. And that was kind of my biggest fear, really, I think, about remaking CTR again, or essentially doing a full-on remake, is basically losing that feel of what the PS1 game had. And again, so far, what we've heard, I mean, there was a lot of, at this point, the game's showing off at the minute. There's been press junkets about people who've had hands-on with it. And so far, they've said that it feels more or less like the old game. The only difference is, I think, the drifting mechanic is a little quicker now. So it's a little quicker to get a boost up than it was in the original.
Yeah. It's like, when you do it once, it's like, okay, how can you refine it? If it's been refined to a positive measure, good.
Yeah.
Because that's how sequels and remakes do.
Yeah, I mean, the idea...
Even though you can't freaking fix the actual jumping mechanics in Crash 1, but whatever.
Yeah, but that was the difference. That was basically because they want to unify all three games with the same basic mechanics, so that was a different thing. So this one is a case of how do we make sure it plays more or less that, but with the slight tweak.
This one is actually the natural fueled part. It pretty much says it's going to have some new tracks, which I'm pretty sure is going to be either original ones or ones taken from Nitro Kart.
Well, here's the thing, because again, they did show off in the announcement trailer the carts from Nitro Karts, and what we heard, they're just cosmetic. You can just train.
Yeah, they are customizable.
Yeah, they are customizable, and they're just cosmetic. They don't change any stats. It's just like, if you want Crash's car from Nitro Kart, you can have it.
Can I get a Daxter car? Can we get broken a licensing so you can get the Daxter car from Jack X?
Oh, dear.
Or can the antenna have a little bobble of a Nitro box?
Yeah. Oh, actually, the weirdest thing is one thing that's been going around is obviously the roster of characters, because they're obviously going to bring back nearly all the other characters. Nitrous Oxide, for instance, is going to be playable for real this time. What started out as a rumor back in the 90s or a hack is now actually a thing, so that's going to be a big deal. Though you can either unlock it in the main game, or there's going to be the typical, here's the more pricey version, limited edition game version, which, you know.
Yeah, Activision don't fucking do any false DLC. You want this character, you're going to pay us $10. Just unlock it in the main game. You want to get it, you're going to cost you $10.
Yeah, we'll let Jim Sterling to talk about the AAA gaming industry business.
I know I get tired of hearing that.
Yeah, which is funny because I did hear somebody use the word AAA the other day, and all I kept thinking was just him just go AAA. You know. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
What else? The one rumor. Yeah, in terms of tracks, there is supposedly, and I think this was online a while back, there was supposed to be what looked like designs for a Spyro-themed level track. So maybe he may be in the game.
Oh god, that'll be so fucking cool. Get Spyro, Spyro, Hunter, and maybe Ripto as characters.
Yeah, probably.
Although I know someone will be crying for playing as Bianca.
Bianca or Alora, you know, because God Almighty, did they not make her as cute as hell?
You do know who will be crying to play as Bianca, right?
Well, I think I know who. If he's watching this.
Spike. It's you.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I mean, the question is basically, I mean, here's a good question: what theme would you take from Spyro? Which theme level would you use as a track? And it could be from all three.
I don't know.
Games.
Maybe you could do something like the Knight's Course or such, where it actually goes between the three provinces in Spyro 2.
I was thinking maybe like the Alora. No, not Alora. That's her. I mean, the world of. Damn it! I can't say the word.
Avalar.
Avalar. You know, I was going to say you could probably do a track of Avalar, like you basically.
Yeah, that's what I said. The three provinces. You have the summer, spring, and winter.
Yeah, and maybe it's like sort of a thing. Like, for instance, if they're going to do what CTR did, there's obviously like there's alternative tracks. You know, there's alternative ways through the tracks. So there's little secrets, like in I think
maybe base it entirely on Glimmer.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say, you know, in typical fashion, there are going to be shortcuts like there are in the original CTR. So one of them is, I think it's pure, I can't remember. There's the one where it's raining and you're drifting in the mud trap. But there's one where if you have a bomb and you throw it in front of this like giant statue, the mouth opens up. I should know the track. I'm a professional man. I should know the stuff.
Come on, you're the Crash Man.
I know, I'm supposed to be the Crash Man. But the camera's on me and I'm worrying like hell. Anyway.
I'm dying. Too much anxiety.
Exactly. But yeah, again, if they do that particularly with Spyro, like for instance, if there's a track where, for instance, I know in game 2 you have to rid the land from Ripto. For instance, maybe there's a track where he's got his mural up, and maybe if you hit it, it'll open up a track and you can go through it. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
So things like that could be fun. The thing I'm interested, though, I'm going to be very interested in how they're going to do the single-player mode. I'm interested in how they're going to represent the story of the game, because one thing that did pop up, I think, in the last few years, Naughty Dog have admitted saying that the premise for Team Racing, they basically said, well, since we were losing the Crash series, we thought we might as well kill it off by introducing an alien. Which is odd to say that that's going to be the jumping shark moment. It's like, you are aware your last game having time traveling, you know, so... You know, going from time travel to aliens, it's not that big a stretch within this.
No, that's still sci-fi.
Yeah, you know, to particularly even for someone who was literally named after just literally a pun name. Let's be fair, half the villains are puns anyway. Again, I'm surprised. I'm going to be interested in how they're going to do it, because if they're going to do what Insane did, which is the same basic dialogue, the same scenes, but they're going to elaborate with little gags or references or add more character quirks into them. I would really like to see that, especially during like the boss bit, particularly when you're going against like Papa Papu, Ripperoo, the Komodo Joe, you know, that stuff. That could be fun. I'd like to see how they would do that. You know, instead of just them sitting in the car talking, they maybe do like silly tricks or whatever, or just getting out of their car or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe I think it'd be mostly the same. Or you actually give Ripperoo an actual voice. That's one thing I'll say I'm disappointed with the actual Insane trilogy. They completely changed his laughing voice.
Yeah, well, originally...
Even though the original was a stock sound they used from Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah. But again, I'd be interested to see how they do that. I mean, the one thing I am going to probably dread doing is probably trying to get the gems and the relics because, oh boy, you have to do both the time trials and the CTR token stuff. Oh, that's going to be a sod.
Yeah, well, let's find out when it releases on June 21st this year because I am not passing that game up.
No, I don't think this is the thing. I think a lot of people, again, I was talking to someone the other day talking about the fact that CTR is coming out just a month after Team Sonic Racing. And I would say, I think more people have a fonder memory for that game than just doing a new racing game with Sonic, if I'm honest. I mean, that's the one thing I'm kind of thinking if it comes down to sales and reputations, that's probably going to beat it out maybe in that area. But that said, I mean, they're both going to be. I am looking forward to both playing those two because I think they're going to be fun, interesting games. And all I can say is, I will say this: I know there will be people who will probably complain that the games aren't one-to-one. Like particularly, Nitro Fuel won't be a one-to-one copy of Team Racing. But I think part of the reason people who end up complaining about that are the people who ended up experting them the first time around. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I remember beating the original CTR. I beat the staff ghosts. I couldn't beat the nitrous times, but I beat the staff ghosts.
Right.
I got obsessed with Team Racing.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, that's the only thing I'm slightly worried about is the feel of this game. Remaking it's the way how it plays and how it feels to the player is the most important factor. As long as if they can nail, again, it's not going to be a perfect one-to-one thing. There will be changes. There will be little differences. But if they can get the basis down right, I think ultimately the game could work. I think this will hopefully be decent enough. I think this will be something that people can replay over and over again.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
If people can replay a Mario Kart 64 over and over again and not complain, then
yeah.
fine.
Yes.
Hey, Double Dash, it's better.